Gaza, the Geordie Jehovah, the demagogue and the Tyne, God. Does the media go over the top about him? Remember when he was greeting like a big Wayne when England got gubbed in the semi-finals of World Cup 90? We pished ourselves laughing. But now that he's a Ranger, all of Scotland must get behind him.
I feel Paul Gascoigne is a truly unique player, truly unique. Most midfielders, you know, they're always shouting, go square, go square. And with Paul, it's more like square go, square go.
Well, I'm fitter than ever. Apart from my legs, my stamina's good. I can go a full 20 minutes without swearing at the referee, and anybody who's playing against me will notice the sharpness of my elbows.
Mom, I'm sorry, I don't follow your line of question at all. I mean, what are you asking me? Is Gascoigne daft as a brush? How daft is a brush? I don't know anything about brushes. I'm a minder. What better word, man?
Well, yeah, obviously when I first came here to Newcastle, there were a lot of stories knocking about Paul Gascoigne, and I don't know whether they were true or not, but apparently he once tried to sue the makers of Shaw deodorant because he'd been using it, you know, and he'd still been getting very sweaty underarms and a bit smelly. And he lost the case. It turned out he'd just been spraying it in a small V on his back.
A lot's been made about me hair. First it was white, then it was black. But it's now back to its natural colour. Newcastle brown.
Football is, was, and ever should have been the ballet of the working classes, the poetry of the po-faced, the concerto of the criminally insane. In our day, when you were talking football, you were talking millions of mad mental maniacs. The people's punters, pontificating, pissed, packed like pilchards in the hallowed slopes of Hampden Park, the nation's national cowshed. Watching with awesome awe some of the most skillfully accurate men on earth. I tell you, in those conditions, it wasn't easy to pee into a beer can. Of course, this is now, and that was then, when you could stand on the terraces and just soak up the atmosphere through your shoes. And really experience l'essence de la game. The sights, the sweary words, the smells. Football, yeah, bisto.
Well, young man, you've just seen Real Madrid defeat Eintracht Frankfurt by 7 goals to 3 with a stunning display of association football. Do you think this is the way ahead for football?
No, it'll never catch on. Too many goals isn't good for the game. And besides, if Real hadn't scored 7, they would have lost 3-0.
Yes, but can't we learn anything from seeing that magnificent skill?
No, we're Scottish. We don't need to learn.
Well, you certainly are a very opinionated young chap. What's your name?
James Farry.
My biggest mistake. Well, I can tell you that in 2 words, right? 2 words. Reno, you know? Because, you know, as you say, you know, when I went to Italy to play in Italian football, you know, there were a lot of clubs interested in me, you know, what it was, you know. There was a lot of clubs. There was Milan, Milano, AC Milan, and Inter, and Inter Milan, and, well, especially International. But in the end, you know, I chose Torino because it was easier to say than International, you know, but you know, of course, I wasn't alone over in Italy. There was, well, let me see now, there was Big John Charles, you know, who had many caps for his country, you know, and Jimmy Greaves, who had many nightcaps for his country. No, even though I didn't settle, you know, mainly because, you know, they couldn't learn my language, I was Italy's top scorer that season with 2 goals, you know. I might have scored 3, but for the marking system they had over there called the Catenaccio system. Catenaccio, now, that's Italian, you know. It means Catenaccio, and... I mean, even the lawman found that one, you know, just a wee bitty difficult, you know?
The ball's pushed forward to Ravanelli. And the big Juve striker celebrates in his usual way. Higuita. Oh, I say.
Before I went to Turkey and joined Galatasaray, yeah, for sure, I did some extensive research. I watched Midnight Express 5 times. I have to admit, when I saw that cruelty, I thought, that'll do me.
The dark cloud of soccer violence looms again like a dark cloud that is very dark and cloudy. There can be no place in football for players who commit the unacceptable, then cannot accept the inevitable when it arrives on their doorstep like an inevitable thing.
Okay, thanks a lot, fellas. So, talk us through this one then, Alan.
Oh, really? Can't enough. Okay. Well, a man is a genius. I mean, for me, he's the world's first fifth dan footballer. I mean, okay, the loss we made of the attack on the farm, a bit of sympathy for Eric for once, you know? Because it wasn't a very good drop kick, and he must have hurt his bum when it hit the wall.
What do you see? A Frenchman? A footballer? A nutter? Is it okay to shout abuse at me just because I'm on a football pitch?
Physically assaulting players and fans?
I am sensitive, an artist, a man of taste.
Then how come you've got plastic stone cladding on your house?
I know that violence is unacceptable in sport.
So how come you get a fat contract out of it?
But why argue? I'd rather take the money. What? Damn early. Well, see dogs. See daft boys. See dogs and daft boys, you know what? I just couldn't take it on. I just couldn't handle the concept, you know. St. Mirren associated with ecstasy. All right. Where's the birds?
Well, to be honest with you, I think clubs like Queen's Park and...
We're picking up some interference. Okay, it's gone now.
Okay, cue Gary.
Well, to be honest with you, I think clubs like Queen's Park
No,
and Partick...
no, there it is again.
Sorry, is it these?
For me personally, you know, that is I myself, the person who has done most damage to the reputation of footballers is Paul Merson. Booze, drugs, gambling, but nae birds. People start out with a bunch of poops or something. To be probably honest, I'm very proud to be seeing what is happening back in the English football. Bruce Grobbelaar, how can he survive accusations that he did not deliberately let in too many goals? I probably think it would be a good idea if he could prove he's a Scottish granny.
Did you see that? What a jammy bastard. I can just be there down in the sports pages to my name score leaves Seaman on the floor. Seaman ruins clean sheet. Seaman has no spunk. Oh, excuse me. I've got to look philosophical now.
Changes in the game. Well, I think one of the changes we've seen in the game, certainly on TV, you know, is the old, you know, the score being written in the top corner of the screen there, isn't it? You know, and
Obviously, that's to stop people coming to the pub or into the house, wherever you're watching it, really, and saying, what's the score? It does get on your nerves a little bit, you know, but of course, instead of that, what's actually happening now is people are coming in and looking at the TV and saying, is that the score? You know. Quite frankly, I'm always tempted to just say, you know, no, it's just up there for a laugh, you know.
Now, see if we stop the action here. Look, nobody in this area here. All of this area here. So there's absolutely no chance to make runs here. Or here. And I don't know what they're making of it here.
And welcome back to Us in Question. That's me, Saint, and him, Gravesy.
It's a funny old game, Saint.
Gears peace. Right. So, Gravesy, the European Championships, being held not in Europe this year, but in England. So, who do you fancy? Gravesy, my money's on Brazil.
Well, I suppose Brazil have as much chance of winning it as Scotland, mate.
And what about your England lot? The England, will El Tel bring in fresh talent?
No, he'll probably stay loyal to the players who've let him down in the past.
Good. And what about the Irish lads from the island? How about that sensational qualifying situation where Northern Ireland ended up helping the Republic?
No doubt about it, Saint. The loyal Ulster fans must have been really upset.
Upset indeed. And talking of Rangers, I see Ali McCoist now holds the record for scoring goals in Old Firm matches.
Who against?
A belter.
People say the Irish have finally not had such a good year in Europe. But if you ask me, the song wasn't as good, was it? Huh? When you can't beat that Johnny Logan, there's a good lad, him.
Well, it's difficult being Welsh, like, you know, because, well, we never qualify for nothing. And we've become a bit of a joke team, really, you know, because we haven't got the luck of the Irish and that. And I think Wales has become like the Scotland of Britain.
And just one more question, Terry. People are saying that you seem to speak a lot of jargon that doesn't actually, at the end of the day, make an awful lot of sense. What do you say to that?
Well, yeah, you say that. I always say to our players, you've got to attack the channels. You've got to get into spaces. You've got to close them down. You've got to shut up shop. You've got to keep moving. You've got to close them down. You've got to get crosses in. You've got to make sure that they don't come at you. And above all, you've got to keep moving, round them up, head them up, round them in, get them in, raw high.
Thank you very much.
In their Euro 96 qualifying campaign, Scotland played the typically Scottish way, but somehow they still managed to qualify.
I have to say, though, some of the players developed an almost telepathic sense. Against Greece, Stuart McKimmie hit Paul McStay with every ball he kicked. Granted, Paul was sitting in the stand at the time.
Well, apparently, Craig Brown intended taking the squad to the pictures to see Braveheart, but he changed his mind when he heard it highlighted the Battle of Stirling, as he thought that meant that footage of Duncan Ferguson trying to get into a taxi.
No doubt about it. I've been saying this for weeks. The stakes could not be higher. And that is a quality question.
Fair dues, Davy. But at the end of the day, I thought the prison sentence was a bit harsh.
Does that answer your question?
Aye, good like. I
The greatest player of them all. Well, if I had to name one, you know, I would have to say Pele, you know. I mean, he was unique. You know, well, he was, you know. He was like Eusebio, you know. No, he was. I mean, you know, you're laughing, but it's true. He was a one-off, except, you know, there was two of them, you know, and, anyway, oh, yeah, I mean, hey, Beckenbauer, you know, I mean, the Kaiser, Big Frank. I mean, you could say, you know, he was the coolest, you know, the most unperturbable of them all.
Or you could say he was just an arrogant big shite, you know? And, oh yeah, and Bestie, you know, Bestie, yeah, just, I mean, no, I mean, the things that boy could do, I mean, I'll tell you know, I'm a chunky, I mean, I think back, I couldn't stop laughing, but ask the guys what he was like at Keepy Uppy, you know? You can ask a few Miss Worlds as well, you know?
So, David, or David, I should say, you've settled in very well to English football, and you seem, so far at least, to have, most importantly, picked up the language very well. What are your impressions so far?
Well, I don't do impressions, but I can juggle if you would like to see this.
Yes. Well, you've been here a few months now in Newcastle, but how do you find the city at first?
I use une carte, a map.
Yes. But you seem, David, to be head and shoulders above the rest of the Premier League.
Head and shoulders?
Yes.
I didn't know you had dandruff.
Well, I don't. But, yes, leaving that aside, though, David, do you think that at the end of the day, you will hold your own?
Well, I am married, so I hope at the end of the day, my wife will hold it for me.
Yes, thank you, David.
Move
Yes,
it
thank you very much.
around a little
Thank you,
bit.
David. Thank you very much. David, you know, over there, of Newcastle United.
Okay, thank you.
Then, of course, you know, with Charlton, you know, Bobby Charlton, Jack Charlton, Heston, and Jimmy Johnson, Wee Jinky, I remember the, oh, God. I tell you this about Wee Jinky, you know, he could control the ball in a bouncy castle. No, he could. He could. That's how skillful he was. And of course, Jim Baxter, Slim Jim. I mean, he could walk a straight line in a bouncy castle. Yeah. That's how pissed he was, you know. And of course, you know, now, you know, the boy Geeks. Oh, the boy Bergkamp. The boy George.
People say that I'm always making excuses for things, but there is very good reason for that.
For example, we have a lot of smaller players, you know, we've got a lot of taller players, so that gives the side a very unbalanced look.
We've got a lot of foreign lads as well, who don't necessarily speak English too well.
And a lot of players like Dennis Wise, who, you know, don't speak English so well.
On top of that, it's not easy, you know, because there's a lot of grass around on the pitches. The white lines can confuse some of the players as well. There's the lights shining in their eyes in the night games,
and people on top of all this, they turn up and they watch us, stare at us, make us very paranoid. So that's not easy.
And above everything else, you know, we're just not very good.
We're shit.
And of course, you know, some great double acts too, you know, like Cruyff and Neeskens and Luca and Kempers and Robson and Jerome. But anyway, yeah. I just say, you know, I mean, you know, really, I've seen some great players in my time. I mean, Alan Ruff, you know, Ted McDougall and Trevor Cherry, you know. I'm sure they've seen some great players too, you know. But, nonetheless, you know, if pushed, you know, you're going to push me in this one. I'd say the best of them all was me.
Hello, I'm Tommy Craig, and welcome to... I'm sorry, you're still going okay? Good, right, hello, I'm Tommy Craig. Look, gonna shut it! Try to do this. Go and beat it! Wayne. Hello, I'm Tommy Craig, and welcome to Shoot. For this week, we'll be concentrating on the thing that is most of all important when scoring, and that is scoring. Okay, kids, see if you can beat me. Well, as you can see,
it's not as easy as it looks. So, to show us how it's done, a natural-born striker, Liverpool's Ian Rush. Hello. Hello, Ian. Now, Ian, I understand that you hold the record for the number of goals scored by Ian Rush. So, tell us why.
Well, I think, I think, it was, you know, on Liverpool, on there, also, France, it's not really on Juventus, but I thought it really.
Yep, absolutely right, Rushy. Of course, almost as important as the man who scores the goals is the provider of the scorer's score chances for to be made. And Ian, oh, you had one of the best in Peter Beardsley. Peter, explain what you're looking for when you're looking for the striker. What are you looking at? Well, couldn't agree with you more, Peter. Right, away you go then, and let's see what they mean. How was that? Okay, I mean, do you think the audience will understand my Scottish accent all right?
There you are. Don't these pros always make it all sound so simple, eh?
Yeah, a lot of teams will come to Liverpool in the late 80s, you know, and they go away saying that they've been robbed. Well, if you're going to leave valuables in the dressing room in Liverpool, what's that?
Hi, Jim White here. And first up, did anyone see that documentary, Faith, Flutes and Football? The one which portrayed Glasgow as a city of narrow-minded bigots. Brilliant, wasn't it? Cheers, Channel 4. Well done, mates. Well, what a year for football. Europe seems set to scrap the 3 foreigners rule, or as we call it in Scotland, the 8 Diddies rule. And staying with Europe, did playing these European games on a Thursday cost Celtic vital league points? Let's hope so. And in the Champions League, Juventus had the audacity to beat Rangers 4-0 at Ibrox. Joe Jordan, they were 1-up at half-time. Surely they should have taken it easy in the second half.
Yeah, actually, Jim, they did.
The match in Turin was obviously the lowest point, particularly as the Italians were up to their old tricks. The fans were throwing coins, which was, you know, particularly distracting to Andy Gorham. He started collecting them.
Yes, this is me, Chick Young, and with me now, Juventus ace Del Piero. So, Derek, what about that astonishing turn past Rangers' Alex Cleland? Talk us through it, amigo.
Sì, come tu m'hai Patricio
What a deep goal.
Yeah, for sure, the world of football is changing. For example, this year's European competitions threw up names from many far off and oppressed regions of the world. For example, Dinamo Batumi from Georgia, and Zalgiris Vilnius from Lithuania, and also Wraith Rovers from Kirkcaldy. For sure.
This is very, very true. We at the Celtic Football Club would rather we didn't have to play Dinamo Batumi.
A lot of danger, Tommy. For example, the threat of diphtheria.
We all know about the threat of diphtheria. He's a quality player. But, we just got to use
Rangers gubbed 4-0 at home by Juventus, boys, you know, and it was, well, of course, it was a Deutschland double, no cared for the other two. I mean, Wraith Rovers lost to Munich in Bayern, and Celtic went down to Paris Street German, you know.
What about Blackburn Rovers? Pish, weren't they?
And Rovers now back to bring on Kevin Gallagher there, who some feel is a little bit injury prone. Well, judge for yourself.
It is disaster for British clubs in Europe. Maybe it's aye. But let's look at the positive side. Fergie and Man United went out before us.
Well, what a year for football. And here with his views, the voice of a football, Jerry McNee. Jerry, what a year for football. Can you hear me, mate?
Let's just stop all this shilly-shallying, dilly-dallying, prevaricating and equivocating. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Collins is overrated. I mean, she hasn't made a decent film since The Stud in 1979. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, the best game of the season so far was the Old Firm draw at Ibrox. That ended up 4-3 for Rangers. 3-2 for Celtic.
This is very, very true. But to be very, very honest, I'd be a liar if I didn't say that we at Celtic Football Club know that they at Rangers Football Club went to beat us at Celtic Football Club 9 times in a row. And, you know, them at Rangers Football Club, they aren't playing great, but they're still winning. And in championship terms, you know, you have to say that is the mark of true jammy bastards.
Right, competition time. And if you remember, we asked you last week the question, who won this season's Coca-Cola Cup final? Was it Aberdeen or Dundee? The answer, of course, was, who gives a toss? Right, coming up after the break. TV evidence and how it won't affect Scott Sport. Because we always miss the crucial bits anyway.
Macca, do you know a lot about the Serie A?
Nah, I don't know much about it anymore.
Oh, I still keep an eye on the Scottish scene. And I've noticed lately a great similarity between Erdreed and Baywatch. No, honestly, fans of both have a lot of semis.
Jürgen, you're actively involved and concerned with a number of international issues.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, for sure.
So what did you think of the French bomb?
Well, I think it was wrong for Basil Bowley to ever have joined Glasgow Rangers.
The toughest acting performance of my life. Trying to keep the smile off my face at the Juventus-Rangers match.
By the way, Saint, I see that Rangers have signed Solenko.
That's right, Greavesy. Signed him from a Spanish club.
Of course, that's a big tradition with you jocks, isn't it? Bringing donkeys back from Spain.
You'll get us hung.
There's one sure way to stop your average footballer getting at any pills, and that's to put childproof caps on the bottles.
Hi, Jim White here. Oh, for goodness sake, it was only £20, mate.
I'll tell you why I really don't like all-seater stadiums. Why? Well, you're stuck in the one place. It used to be you could shuffle away after you'd farted.